Session 2, Saturday, about to be 7 o'clock. We're going to go down now, get back in the mix in the 1-2. 14k bad beat jackpot, so fingers crossed. Hopefully good games last night. We'll see, but going to go down now. Try and spin up like yesterday. It was great. It was like, I'm going to try and make a conscious effort to get more hands, because yesterday was dreadful. Recorded like the first hour, no hands, and then won a load of big ones and just didn't get any footage. So we're going to try and get some footage today. Welcome to the second poker vlog. Getting a little bit of consistency going now. First hand is aces, obviously, because all we play, as you tell from the last vlog. There's a limp to 5, a call 5. We'll make it 25. We're playing 1-2-5 at this point. And a guy says ace ace. Our friend Jason, who's a regular in the games we play. Nice dude, good to play with, good for the game. He puts us on aces. So that's quite funny. Then does make a call, his friend folds, and we kind of go straight into it. And it's a weird spot because the pot's a bit inflated now. I think we're bought for 350, so we're on just over 300 at this point. It's a pretty dry board. Definitely going to be c-betting this board, even against a limp caller. Yeah, we're not really too worried about it. You shouldn't really ever have many 2 pairs here. Yeah, like occasionally have sets, but you can also like be limping in with like 8x, 8-9, 8-7, other combos of ace-8. So on this, the 7s are not a great turn for us because 5-7 gets there, 6-4 gets there. Obviously 8-7 and pocket 7s, so we're gonna have an easy check. Check the side spot. And the river does bring in a 4-liner, but I think once he checks again, we're just good. Yeah, I just think we're pretty good here. He never really has a straight. So I kind of size up, just trying to get maximum from his 1-pair hands. And it's just one of those beautiful spots when we kind of make a huge bet on the river with a relatively weak hand considering the board. And he just like goes straight into the tank. And we're just like praying for a call at this point. So, yeah, he thinks about it for a while. And obviously, after about a minute or so, we know we're good. We're praying for a call. He didn't tell us what he had, and I'm kind of interested to see what he was like limp calling and then playing this way. But I think ultimately I put him on some kind of like 10-8, sorry 8, 10-8, 9-8, Jack-8 kind of hand. But you do get the call and we're good. So we're waiting for the slow roll, as you can see, just like for. But yeah,
He said aces.
he did say aces, but he couldn't find the fold. Good soul read.
No, big whale. Bye.
So nice start, and then as you can see, we just didn't lose a pot. Like again, there's a limper, we squeeze it up with 4s, we essentially check it down on quite high board, and we're just good. Again, 10-9, ISO limper, calls, pretty high board with a 9, we c-bet call, we check it down, and we actually beat 9-8, which was really, really cool. So we're just winning all these spots, it was fantastic. Here, there was an open bio, quite weak player, we make it 45 at 1-2-5 when he opens to 15. There's a call by Nagro Reg, the fish calls. Flop was ace deuce, I think, and we just bet like 35 and we get 2 folds. Can probably make it bigger pre, but I'm still happy with taking on this pot. It's quite like a decent chunk of change, and we're just running at this spot. It's quite great. It's quite good, and when you're running good, what do? You start opening 3-4 early position. So we open and Jason defends his big, our friend, who was from the aces hand, and we just drill the flop, bottom 2. Obviously always betting here as well, so we bet pretty big because Jason is a guy who doesn't necessarily like to fold, although he is getting better. So we bet into 10 and go to the turn. It's like a pretty innocuous turn really. He's gonna have so many draws here, so many like still 1-pair hands. So you kind of thought is how can we get the maximum here, and then try and like get the maximum as Queen X. So kind of bet 25, just trying to. We're just gonna go big bet, which I think is completely fine. And when he starts tanking, I don't really think he's ever tanking with a Queen Jack or anything like that. He'll occasionally have some combo draws or some like some kind of like flush draw here, but we're still happy just to kind of get bet big. 5-6 obviously gets there, which was a bit of a concern, but he also still has all Queen X pure, so we're just gonna be like trying to get max from that. Sizing wise, you know, I think you can do a lot of stuff here. I think I could go small, but I opted for big, just like the last time. We're just trying to go for like really thin value. Just putting him in a spot really, if he ever has a queen. He did think about it. He took his time as usual. We just, obviously, when he does take his time, it's great, because when you do bet this big on the river and it goes like a raise, then you're just hating life. But it's a relatively easy bet fold spot, I think. So yeah, we're sat here, we're praying for a call. The more I look at him, and then obviously after the aces spot, I'm kind of thinking that he's going to be able to find some ways of getting away from certain hands. He peels his cards, his size a bit. He does find a fold. We do kind of try and be good for the table. We show him our hand, show him that he made a good fold, obviously some kind of queen X, I think. I think he did tell us he had a queen in the end, so good fold, Jason. Well played, sir. Again, kind of getting a bit loose with it. I think we were in a middle position in the spot. We open 6-4 suited, £7, and aggro reg, who cold called with the ace jack spot, he calls. Flops pretty decent for a range. So yeah, when it kind of checks, I went for a check back here actually. I think I went for a check back just to kind of protect the hand. The ace is obviously a really good turn for us, so I do bet he does snap call, river the flush, just fantastic. And I didn't actually even bet that bit. I went for a big bet because I just thought that this guy can't really fold too much against us, even though that river is pretty dreadful in terms of getting like queen X to call. You know, you're not really going to get it, but I think his weaker ace X will still flick it in. So this was a pretty interesting hand where we wake up ace 10 offsuit, early position, make it 7. We get a snap call again from the aggro reg, and I think Jason, who likes to do a lot of flatting pre, he calls. Obviously, the way this session we're going, we just smash the flop, top 2, very dry board. Goes check to us, and I go for a kind of small C bet. There's no point betting big here. We do block the board a lot as well, so we're going to want wide floats. Aggro reg calls, Jason folds. Turns on amazing because there is a lot of ace jack offsuit in his range, but he does have jack 10 offsuit as well, jack 10 suited, and some other ace X, so we do kind of size up on the 10. We're just trying to get some value, and he snap called again, so it's kind of interesting. And the 9 again, it's like it's a weird river, but ultimately we're still going to be betting big here for value. So the question is sizing wise. I went for 60. I thought 60 is quite a nice size. Oh, sorry, 65 I went for. He did think about it for a couple of seconds, which is great, because obviously when he thinks about it, we know we're good. I think ace jack will just get snap called. And obviously now at this point we're praying for a call. This guy does not like to fold to me. Obviously in hindsight, could have even gone bigger. When we do get called, we are good. And we're in a nice pot. And again, at this point, we bought him for like 350, I think, and we were just cruising. And this is the hand that everyone's been wanting to see. This is from the title, I guess. So there's an open, and there's a flat in the small blind. And we're sat with 10-9 of diamonds, which is a very pretty hand indeed. So there's an open, a call in the button, and then a call in the small blind by our relatively fishy friend, who we play with quite a lot. You can do some squeezing, but I think this hand plays too well. You don't really want to be getting 4-bet or kind of priced out or make the pot too big. So we do call. We do flop pretty well on a very dry board. We flop top pair. Small blind checks. We check. The aggro opener bets huge into so many people. Again, I don't think there's many good players in these games. This sizing says a lot about the kind of guy, the kind of player when he bets like this big. Doesn't really make a ton of sense. But he bets pretty big into the size of the pot. Button button folds, small blind calls, we call. We just drill it on the turn. So obviously here I'm loving life. I think, the aggregators will overplay his pocket pairs, I think, a lot of the time. So we do check, but his snap checks through, so we're just kind of annoyed. And then on the 3 river, I'm kind of thinking about my sizing at this point, but then the small blind, who's a pretty weak player, he decides to bet pretty big. And it puts us in the blender a little bit when he was counting out his chips. Immediately you go from the aggressive of how can I get max value from our aggro reg friend, who opened an early position, and now you're just thinking, what bluffs does this guy ever have, right? Like, he just puts in 75 here. We have obviously the worry about the guy behind us, even though it did check through on the turn. This guy could still check back. He could check back 6-7 for sure. Like, that's absolutely in his range. So I just mulled it over for a while, and just couldn't think of hands we beat, honestly, that play this way. I think obviously the draws get there. He does have better 9x. He does have boats. He would check those on the turn, probably going for a check raise. I just find the hero fold here. And there was a relatively short tank by our aggro friend, and the aggro friend called, didn't show his hand, but the guy had pocket 4s for a full house on the turn.
No, it's 10-9. He has like I don't beat much when he bets like that. Huh? Yeah, 10-9. Dude, well, what do I beat when he bets 75 on river? Like just pure bluffs, and then I've still got Rosa behind. I think it's best option at all. I think call's fine. Like call's fine, but what do you beat? Tell me. I bet 75. And I don't think there's many bluffs in range at all. What, 9, 8, 9, 7? Is he really flat 9, 6? The small blind? I don't think he is. I think 9, 8, 9, 7 we beat. Then we lose to all boats. And then if he is flat in that, it's 9, 5. Like. I don't know, I think it's pretty simple. I'm not saying that as a result either. I think we lose like Jack 9, Queen 9. Yeah. If Rosa's not there, obviously I call as well. Sorry? Ridiculous. You're gonna raise flop?
So there's our fun conversation with our friend James. It's an interesting spot. Let me know what you guys think to this ridiculous fold. I think it is kind of crazy fold, but it turned out to be good. It doesn't mean it's a good fold, but we win some more pots. Get aces again on the small one, but yeah, I thought I'd take this time to update you guys. Anything have stopped me from filming, so I'm gonna have to fire off some emails and try and get them to let me film again. Start some kind of petition or burn down the casino. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna burn down the casino. I'm joking. But yeah. But then the session was just like, we just won every spot. It was crazy. We flopped a set as well. And check raise on the turn, didn't get much more money from that spot. But here we got max value against that same fish with a nut flush on like a king, queen, jack something board or 2 diamonds. We bet 25 and it snaps on the river. So just cruising. It was such a great session. And yeah, thanks for watching. So back from the session, went fucking incredible. In for 350, out for 1k. Just an incredible session. Put a lot of the hands at the start, which was great. So we just saw big pot after big pot at the start. But just an incredible session. We came in down 700 in that first session, and we just had 2 pretty good sessions back to back. Looking good again, and that's poker though. You have your ups and your downs, and so just really ecstatic to have ran that well, to have played well today. I think I played pretty good. Some nice spots, some nice folds. Yeah, just incredible. Just an awesome session. The Babby jackpot's still on, so we've got that next week. So we're going to go for that. We'll try and get it. But yeah, nice one. All right, catch you next episode.